Hi, third graders, it's Mrs. Badger, and I'm here with you to give you a lesson on the difference between questions and statements. So we're going to be starting working on our first language standard, which is showing that you can write a question and a statement with the correct punctuation, and you can also tell me what the difference is. And we will also be working out of our Green Language Arts book for the first time. So let's get started with our lesson. So our learning target for the day is, today we will explain the differences between statements and questions. And that also includes making sure we put the right punctuation. So let's start with some simple information about what is a statement. A statement is a telling sentence and it tells the reader something. So here is an example of a statement. The ship sailed across the ocean. A statement starts with a capital letter and ends with a period. So that leaves us with a question. So what is a question? A question asks the reader something. It begins with a question word. So here is an example of a question. What color is the dog? A question starts with a capital letter and it ends with a question mark. So remember, a question can be answered. If I have the question, what color is the dog? My answer is, the dog is brown. It's asking us something. It starts with a question word, which is the word what, and it starts with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. So you might be thinking, what are question words? Well, question words are words that are asking us for some information. So some question words are here. We have the word do, were, could, who, what, when, can, may, why, should, where, are, how, did, would, was, does. So these are words that will start sentences that are questions. They're wanting us to give some information back to the person who is asking the question. So we're going to play a quick game so that we can practice together. You're going to tell me if the sentence that I read to you is a question or a statement. Remember, a question is asking for information. It needs an answer. And a statement is just giving us information. Ready? All right, question or statement. The children are playing. All right, if you said statement, you're correct. But what if I asked you, why is it a statement? Think about that for a minute. Okay, we know that it is a statement because it's just telling us something. It does not start with a question word, and it cannot be answered because it's not asking us anything. And it starts with a capital letter and ends with a period. All right, if you got that one right, put a little tally mark on a piece of paper and keep track of your points. Next one, statement or question or statement. The blue bird sings loudly. If you said statement, you're correct. But how do we know that? Think about it. All right, we know it is a statement because, again, it's telling us something. It also does not start with a question word. And it cannot be answered because it's not asking us anything. And again, it starts with a capital letter and ends with a period. Good work. If you got that one right, give yourself another tally mark. Next one is a question or statement. Where is the kitten? If you said question, you're correct. But again, how do we know it's a question? That's right. The question is asking us something. It's starting with the question word, which is the word where. It also can be answered because where is the kitten? The kitten is in the box. And a question also starts with a capital letter, but this one ends with a question mark. Okay, put a tally mark if you got it right. Question or statement. When will the football game start? If you said question, you're correct, but you know I'm going to ask you, how do we know it's a question? That's right, we know because it's asking us something. Also, it starts with the question word, which is the word when. It can be answered, when will the football game start? The football game will start at 5 o'clock. All right, and it also begins with a capital letter and ends with a period. Sorry, a question mark, a question mark. All right, this is our last one. Question or statement. What color is the bus? Let's see what the answer is. It is a question. Again, how do we know it's a question? Think about it. That's right. A question asks us something. And this is asking us, what color is the bus? Because it is starting with a question word, which is the word what. It also can be answered because we can tell what color the bus is. The bus is red, or maybe pink if you said pink. It looks a little pink to me. And a question starts with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. All right, put a tally mark if you got it right and count up your points. All right, so hopefully you were able to get all of our questions correct. So when we play games like this, keep track of your points so that you can tell how you did. If you got most of them right, then you have been a good listener and we're paying close attention. So let's take a minute and let's review what we learned today. We talked about first what a statement is, and a statement is a telling sentence. It's telling the reader something. So another example, the ship sailed across the ocean. And remember, it starts with a capital letter and ends with a period. Then we talked about questions. A question asks the reader something, and it begins with a question word. An example was, what color is the dog? And it starts with a question also starts with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation, with a question mark. Questions can also be answered. For example, what color is the dog? The dog is brown, and it asks something. It starts with a question word. And a question also starts with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. And here are our question words again. Can, are, is, where, does, did, was, were, would, how, should, what, do, who, may, why. Lots of question words. Okay, now it's time for your assignment. So take out your green language arts book and let's open to page 4. On page 4, I want you to read the information in the orange box at the top of the page. It's just reviewing the difference between a statement and a question. So if you need to pause the video to do that, please do it now. Okay, now that you have read the orange box at the top of the page, I want you to read questions 1 through 5 down at the bottom of page 4 under the guided section or the guided practice section. And I want you to decide if the sentence on numbers 1 through 5 are statements or questions. So take a minute, pause the video, give yourself time to complete the guided practice just in your head, and then unpause when you finish answering those questions or telling yourself if it's a statement or a question. And then I will tell you the answers so that you can see how you did. So go ahead and pause the video, read sentences 1 through 5 in your head, and then decide, is that a statement or is that a question? All right, let's see how you did on the guided practice. Question number 1, or sentence number 1, was, how did you learn about butterflies? And the answer to that is a question. And again, it is a question because it starts with a question word and it has a question mark at the end. Number 2, I read a library book about butterflies. That's a statement. It is not starting with a question word. It's not asking us anything, and it ends with a period. Number 3, butterflies are wonderful insects. That is also a statement. Again, it does not start with a question word, it is not asking us anything, and it has a period at the end. Number 4, where do butterflies live? It is a question. It is starting with the question word where. It's asking us where butterflies live, and it has a question mark at the end. And the last one, number 5, some butterflies live in North America. This one is also a statement. It starts with the word that is not a question word, and it ends with a period. All right, hopefully you got all of those right, and you're ready to do your independent practice. Okay, here are the directions for your assignment. You're going to look at page 5 in your language arts notebook. You will follow the directions for the assignment for numbers 6 through 15. Notice it starts with number 6 on this page, not number 1. Number 1 was in the guided practice, so just keep that in mind. And the directions say, for each sentence, write statement or question. So what I want you to do is write the sentence that they have here, and then after that, I want you to tell me if it's a statement or a question. Please use a loose leaf piece of paper to write your sentences. Put your name in the top right-hand corner of the paper with the date underneath. So I have an example here. Let's see if you can see it. Notice how I have my name, Mrs. Badger, and I have the date in the top right-hand corner. Then I want you to write the numbers of the sentences to the left side of the red line. So let's see again if I can show you. I put number 1 to the left of the red line, and then I wrote my sentence. Where do monarch butterflies go in the winter? And then that line after the sentence, I want you to tell me, was that a statement or a question? Then I want you to skip a line. So if I was doing the next question, I would skip a line, put number 2, and then I would write that sentence, and so on until you get to sentence number 15. You do not need to do 16 through 20. And one last piece of information. How do I turn in my work? For this assignment, since you're doing it on a loose leaf paper, I would like you to ask someone to take a picture of your work and have them email it to me at badgerk@beleneagles.org. All right, that's it for your language arts assignment today. I know you're going to be wonderful and do your best work. I can't wait to see it. All right, I'll see you soon.